company as his own piggy bank, and now former CEO of body armor company DHB Industries is on trial for a $200 million fraud scheme and a company-funded spending spree that included a $100,000 diamond, sapphire, and ruby-encrusted belt buckle. We welcome back our panel. Joining us also former CIA Covert Operations Officer Mike Baker, and I think Ross Mandel may be sticking around as well. Baker, look at this. This is something right up. The FBI should be involved in this. You think they're involved in this?
Yeah, I'm sure they are, and they're looking at a variety of issues here. But I know what your belt buckle collection looks like, so I don't know you got room to smile. But the other thing is I've been listening to the show, and it was like I wandered into a mixed martial arts contest. But very impressive group, and it's been a lot of fun to listen to.
First things first, you have no idea what my belt buckle looks like. Second thing, let me show you the list of the shopping spree, guys. If you can pull this up, this shopping spree is amazing. This guy spent, where am I? $1.3 million. Okay, here it is. Pornographic videos for his son, plastic surgery for his wife, burial plot for his mother, prostitutes for his employees, and there's that $100,000 belt. Baker, this guy didn't seem to have a problem. Even while he was being investigated, he was still spending like crazy with this stuff.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there's clearly a variety of issues this gentleman has, but $185 million pilfered from the company is bad enough. I mean, buying prostitutes for your employees. I don't know whether that is that above the line or a below the line cost. I have no idea.
I'm guessing it's right at the line. Hey, Ross Mandel, real quick, let me get to Russ. If you're still there, you want to weigh in on this one?
Yeah, I think the most important thing to look at is where'd the money come from? Who in the government was involved in ordering this body armor? Who was getting greased, kickbacked? And, you know, what was the relationship between this guy's company and the military?
Hang in there, go ahead.
I think the issue with this thing was the fact that the stock was hyped up to $20. He sold his shares inside his shares.
Yeah, let's tell the people. Yeah. Here's what happened. He had the body armor company that was selling to the military defense contractor. He talked the stock up. He told him he had a lot of sales, he had a lot of inventory. Stock went up. He sold his stock out, and then the investors were left holding the barrel.
And then he was supposed to have a certain amount of money that, of course, he was the CEO chairman. He was allotted for $10 million for his kid's bar mitzvah in the Waldorf Astoria. You don't have that down there.
Joe?
I think that if the wife has plastic surgery, if it's breast augmentation, it's okay.
That's okay. That's all right with that one. Steve, do you want to jump in here?
Wait a second. Let me see. Bonuses to the pigs and the thieves on Wall Street or prostitutes? I wonder which costs the taxpayers more ultimately. A bonus to AIG or prostitutes for their executive? Lock them all.
Baker, what about it? So there's no difference between this guy and what goes on Wall Street, what goes on in Main Street?
You know what? Corruption's corruption. I mean, you look at what this guy did in terms of the value, the amount. You look at Mark Hurd over at HP, which was minimal compared to this guy.
Minimal.
But corruption is corruption, and you got to set.
I don't think he did anything. Well, you know, this question, what he did with his expense. Hang on, Baker. Go ahead, Beau.
Boy, I just think again, this is another. It seems like this guy is going to go down, but beyond that, I think what is going to be highlighted is these circles in these webs of interactivity among defense contractors.
I have to stick up for Mr. Brooks. I have to stick up for Mr. Brooks. His lawyers said.
I think the federals are going to use him to find out who was ultimately making the decision.
Mr. Brooks' lawyers said if Mr. Brooks thought such services as prostitution could motivate his employees and make them more productive, then that was okay. So come on.
Look, I got a company that I run that I've got a lot of employees, and I know for a fact that it probably would motivate some of them. But am I going to do it? No. But there's more of a bigger issue here. Aside from how bad the corruption angle is he's also being investigated for production of substandard body armor. Which
that's a good point, Baker. That's a good point. That means every taxpayer's on the hook, not just the investors in this company.
You're on this one,
real quick. We don't have much time.
This piece of work, right? He's in jail.
Exactly.
He's into designer pens. He can only write. He gets them smuggled into jail because he's got drugs inside. But you know how he smuggled them into jail?
You know what?
Invasive procedures.
Let me just tell you something, you guys. This was the best show we've done so far. I want to thank the panel, Curtis Sliwa, Vito Fasella, Joe Piscopo, Beau Dietl, Mike Baker. Thank you, Ross Mandel. Thank you very much too. Now, if you